Bathroom Breaks and Bedtime Tales presents Bon Appétit by Sebastian Winters. The Last Supper. Nicholas Vaughn deserves to die. He laughs like he's never lost a thing in his life. That changes tonight. Tonight, he will lose everything. We sit across from each other in the private dining room of the Holloway Club, an establishment so exclusive that men like him, men who pillage pension funds and gut entire industries for sport, consider it their sanctuary. A place where they can sip their vintage Bordeaux and joke about insider trading, knowing the walls, like the law, will protect them. His watch, a limited edition Vacheron Constantin, glints under the dim chandelier light. His suit, bespoke Italian, clings to his frame in a way that whispers obscene amounts of money. His cufflinks, platinum and engraved, once belonged to his father, a man just as vile if the SEC archives are to be believed. He doesn't know it yet, but this is his last meal. I raise my glass of Barolo Monfertino and nod. To wealth. He smirks. To dominance. I let the moment stretch. Let him soak in his arrogance. He believes he is at the top of the food chain. Men like Vaughn think the world exists for their consumption. They chew through people the way they chew through filet mignon, ravenous, entitled, unaware of the final cost. I press my thumb against the stem of my glass, watching him over the rim. I wonder if he will taste bitter or sweet. I make a mental note to freshen my supply of cumin soon. Harvesting. Nicholas Vaughn is drunk, which always makes things easier. He stumbles slightly as we exit the club, his gait just loose enough to make him vulnerable. I let him lean into the illusion that this is just another indulgence, just another night where the world bends for his pleasure. "Where we goin'?" he slurs, swiping his tongue over his teeth. "Another drink?" "My place," I say smoothly. "I have a 2015 Screaming Eagle Cabernet you might enjoy." His pupils dilate. He's heard of it. Limited run. 10,000 a bottle. It takes a particular kind of man to spend that much on wine. He claps me on the back, an exaggerated show of camaraderie. "Fuck, Elijah, you know how to live." He is wrong, of course. I do not live. I curate. My home is an architectural masterpiece built into the Hollywood Hills, a modernist dream of glass, steel, and silence, a place without clutter, without excess, without warmth. Nicholas Vaughn collapses onto my black leather sectional, stretching his arms behind his head, utterly at ease in another man's kingdom. He does not question the soft music playing in the background, the low hum of the temperature-controlled kitchen, the way the decanter I hand him is already open, the wine already breathing. He does not wonder why he suddenly feels so heavy. His eyes flicker as the sedative takes hold, confusion blooming in his expression, like a flower wilting in fast motion. "Elijah?" I watch him sag, his limbs losing structure, his body failing him in real time. By the time his head hits the couch, he is mine. The preparation. The butcher's table is a work of art. Stainless steel, meticulously clean, an altar of purpose. Nicholas Vaughn is silent now, his body suspended in the cold light of my basement, arms spread as if awaiting judgment. I unbutton my cuffs, roll them to my elbows, and inhale deeply. There is no hesitation in my hands as I select the boning knife, its edge honed to surgical perfection. The first incision is a thing of beauty. Skin peels back like silk. I work methodically, separating muscle from bone, revealing the truth of him. The loin, prime cut. The cheeks, delicate, full of flavor. The thighs, marbled, rich. His body is nothing more than parts now. He will finally serve someone other than himself. The plating. The aroma of rendered fat fills my kitchen. Seared flesh sizzling in a cast-iron pan with butter, rosemary, and crushed garlic. I plate the meal with care. A smear of parsnip puree. A drizzle of reduction made from his marrow. A dusting of Malden salt. The presentation is flawless. I take the first bite, closing my eyes as the taste coats my tongue. Rich, earthy, slightly metallic. A hint of bourbon from his bloodstream. A whisper of indulgence. Near perfection. I reach into the refrigerator for a freshly prepared ramekin of horseradish. Exactly what it needs. The journalist. I am pouring the wine, a surprisingly cheap but perfect barefoot Bordeaux, when the doorbell rings. I glance at the clock. 2:14 a.m. No one should be here. When I check the security feed, I see him, Daniel Ames, investigative journalist, always a step behind and yet somehow always just a little too close to my work. I look around the kitchen for any signs that my late supper is anything other than meat, any sign that Nicholas was here. None. Just the remaining portion of remaining mashed potatoes, some green beans, glazed carrots, and cheese biscuits still fresh, piping hot from the oven. I smile to myself. Though he wasn't invited, he's just in time. And here I thought I'd made too much. Daniel is like a well-trained bloodhound sniffing for financial crimes. The man who just this morning published an exposé on Nicholas Vaughn, linking him to an embezzlement scheme far greater than even I had known. I look through the peephole. His face is hard, unreadable. He holds a manila folder in one hand. I exhale slowly. I open the door. Daniel tilts his head slightly. We need to talk. I step aside, letting him in. Daniel, I exclaim. Perfect timing. I was at the office late, and I'm just sitting down for supper. I was just lamenting that I made too much, and then, poof, here you are. Please tell me you'll join me. I won't take no for an answer. Thank you, he says. It smells terrific. Terrific indeed, my unsuspecting friend. Terrific indeed. The Reckoning. Daniel sits where Nicholas sat only hours ago. He does not drink the wine I pour him. Smart. Instead, he requests a glass of water and insists on getting it himself. We sit. We dine. He raves over the taste, the brilliance of the meat. We eat our fill and talk about all of his travels, his fascinating work as a journalist. We top off the meal with a helping of chocolate cake and a dollop of mint ice cream. It's delightful. Before I move to clear the dessert dishes, he places a folder on the table between us, his fingers tapping once against the cardboard. "I know what you do," he says, his voice even. I watch him carefully, measuring his breathing, his pulse, his pupils. He is not afraid. He should be. "And what exactly is it that I do?" I ask softly. His mouth twitches, something between a smirk and a grimace. "You eat the rich, Elijah." He points to the refrigerator where I had just, minutes earlier, wrapped and stored the leftovers. "Nicholas Vaughn, I presume. That thigh was a dead giveaway, marbled to perfection, just like Nicholas." I say nothing. He exhales, leaning back slightly. "The problem is, you're not the only one." A pause. The air between us shifts. "I've been tracking men like Vaughn for years," Daniel continues, "and every time I get close, something clears them off the board before justice can." He pauses. "Or, should I say, someone?" He doffs a non-existent cap toward me. I ignore his accusation. I lace my fingers together. Justice is a matter of perspective. He nods. So is survival. A beat of silence. Then he slides the folder further toward me. I finally reach for it. Inside are names. Names I recognize. Names of men who were mine to take. Men who vanished before I could balance their scales. Men who, I now realize, were never meant to be mine in the first place. I look back at Daniel. He watches me like a predator watching another predator. A slow, cold realization creeps down my spine. I am not the only one hunting. And suddenly, I am no longer sure if I am the eater or the meal. The last bite. Daniel stands. I get hungry too. Let's just say we have similar appetites, and I have the goods on every one of these assholes. You can either work with me, he says, or you can end up on someone else's plate. I remain still, calculating, considering. Then, slowly, I make my decision. I look up at Daniel. I smile. I shake his hand to gain his trust, as if we're making a deal. He smiles too. I grab the dessert fork from the table. I slam it into his throat, and I twist as the shock registers in his eyes, and blood sprays all over my kitchen from the arterial blood in his jugular. What was I supposed to do? The man wanted to murder people with me, and frankly, I just don't trust criminals.